Hi, everyone. My name is Matt Ackerson. I'm the CEO of AutoGuard.co, as you may already know. I'm joined today by Alex and Mariana. And today we're talking about the top 5 high ticket sales strategies to help you grow sales for your high ticket products or services by 481% or more. And I'll talk about where that number comes from in a second. But what a lot of people don't realize is that, you know, when you go into a sales meeting, when you generate that lead and you go into a sales meeting with a prospective client who's thinking of buying your high ticket, meaning usually something over $1,000, your high ticket product or service, you need a plan and you need to think systematically about how you can improve, because usually sales meetings, they take a lot of time. And yes, there is an element of art to them, but there's also a lot of science and systematic thinking that can go into helping you to actually have a higher close rate. And also just to save you time too, so that you're only spending time with clients who have a genuine, deep desire to do business with you and to solve a problem which aligns with your solution. So let's talk about the first sales strategy, which is Mariana.
The first one is skyrocket your lead quality by notching leads to watch an on-demand demo video.
Right. So this is one that I came across some years ago, a just kind of buried blog article on the Crazy Egg blog. It was a case study written by a guest author and hadn't received a lot of attention, but I was just Googling around and I came across it. And it was about this limousine tracking company. So basically, I guess they use GPS to like track limousines and track, fleets of vehicles. And the offering to people was to get on a free consultation to learn more about this solution to, track your fleet basically. Well, this consultant who was writing this blog article, he worked with them and he said, you know what, let's actually test on this landing page. Instead of a free consultation, we'll request all the same information, but instead we will say, watch a 10-minute on-demand video. And so they did this, and the result was conversions increased by over 850%. So I saw this and I thought about our productized service at the time. And I said, you know what, why don't we try that on our website? Because that makes a lot of sense. And we did it, and all we did, essentially was to change the call to action button from free consultation to watch a 20-minute demo video. And even though it was longer than the case study, which was 10 minutes, our conversion rate increased by 481%. So it was massive. And we were still asking for all the same, for the same amount of contact information. So why does it work though? Why does this work as a sales strategy? And why does it also in turn produce much higher quality leads and much higher quality conversations and a much higher close rate ultimately? Because with our productized service, after we started doing this, I consistently had a 70% plus close rate. So the reason why it works is this. When people are online and they're looking around for for information about the solution to whatever problem is that they have, and looking at different services or products, they don't want to switch modes. They don't want to then have to get on the phone because, their brain, your mind is kind of like in a certain context. You're online and you're looking at the web page and you just want the information that you want, and you want it right there in front of you. If you wanted to call, you probably would have already picked up the phone and kind of, Googled directly for maybe different information related to that. So it takes out context switching and it gives you information in a way that's probably more upfront, less salesy, and kind of keeps them in the driver's seat. Because the other thing about getting on a sales call is people don't want to be sold. No one wants to be sold anything. So that's why it works, because it helps to take away some of that fear while also giving information and value upfront.
And also because people prefer watching a video, right, than getting on the call where you have to spend at least 30 minutes, 20 minutes, to do so. And I think it's really important that it basically helps to for the lead to filter out himself if he's not a good fit, because if someone watches the video and they're like, now that I'm informed with the video of what this company offers, like, okay, I may know if I'm a fit or not. So do I want to proceed to the next step, or do I just drop it?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah. So the next strategy is price anchor, but also actually tell them the price. And here's why.
Right. So a lot of people and businesses that are selling high ticket products and services, there's a lot of fear around actually telling, what your price is. And so first off, as a best practice, thinking kind of systematically is, within your sales funnel on your website, before you even get on the phone with someone, or even, and even I would say during the conversation too, like if you're giving, especially like some sort of a demo on the call, you always want to price anchor. It's just a proven tactic. And what that means is, you know, um, if you say the value of this is, $10,000 in savings, but the cost is, wait for it, just $1,000. That price of it just being $1,000 makes it seem more affordable. It's just, proven kind of psychology. Um, but in terms of actually saying what your price is, you want to say it before people even get on the phone. Okay, so if you're giving some sort of an on-demand video, or you're giving, a long form sales page, it's a best practice to at least say, what the starting price is, and just give people kind of a clear idea of, okay, before they even get on the call. So it's not like this big buildup and then, oh my God, it's $5,000. Like, actually that's $2,000 over my budget. Well, to even get to that point, you may have had to spend an hour on the phone call. So it's not a good use of your time, and it's not a good use of your prospective client or customer's time either. So to make sure that you're having highly productive and highly qualified sales calls, do reveal at least what the starting price is. Because what is the biggest determinant of whether or not someone actually buys or not? If they have the money, right? So, so that's it for strategy number 2.
Next one, focus on the client and don't come off desperate. What does that mean?
This is really just the principle of apathy sells. Just be focused. Like what I tell our sales team, I say, don't even care when you get on the phone call with clients, because our consultations, we are always advertising as being with a strategist. Because genuinely, when we get on a call, it's actually not just answering questions and, looking to facilitate a sale, as long as it's a fit, right? But also just to give value, and that's why people are getting on the phone with a strategist, not just, some salesperson, for instance. It's with a strategist, and that helps to keep the focus too on, okay, like this is about giving value, right? So I always tell our team, when you talk with clients, when they book a consultation, just focus on helping them, answering their questions, and don't, like, because if you focus on the sale, like, you're probably going to make mistakes. Just focus on the client, focus on kind of, building the relationship and giving value. And clients pick up on that. Clients pick up on that because they're gonna see, oh wow, this person's actually focused on answering my questions and helping me, which makes them more likely and more willing to want to do business with you. If you're just trying to convince someone, the difference between persuasion is that you're taking someone's, internal desire and you're funneling that into a decision, versus convincing someone is kind of like twisting arms. There's a big difference there, and clients can sense that. So that's what it means when it says focus on the client, and just be apathetic to making the sale. Focus on giving them the solution that they need.
Next one, ask if the person that you are talking with is a decision maker.
So this is just kind of a basic 101 thing. And, some of you entrepreneurs, business owners, marketers who are watching this, you might say, oh, well, that's kind of obvious. It may be obvious, but it's amazing how long I've been doing this. And even our team too, it's such a basic thing. And part of the reason why we came up with a checklist, partially inspired by some of these sales strategies from this article, from today's resource. It's just a fundamental thing, like, because it's something that's so easy to forget to do, because you always assume, oh, the person getting on the phone, the one that booked the call, it's obviously, the decision maker. When in fact, it's not always like that, especially depending on, what type of market that you're selling into. medium and larger size enterprise level companies, the way that they make decisions can be very, very different from, selling to individuals or small businesses, for instance, or entrepreneurs, where you'll more often be talking to the decision maker. But again, not always. So early on in the conversation, like I would say within the first 15 minutes, it's okay. And you want to maybe kind of figure out the best way to phrase this, but it's okay to actually ask, so how are you going to make your decision, by the end of this call? You can even experiment with saying, are you the decision maker? Do you have any business partners that you'll be consulting with on this? And then if they say yes, well, that's an indication that you should just reschedule the call and reschedule at a time that's going to work for the other business partner, for example, or the other person who's going to be a key influencer in making that decision. Sometimes if you're selling to, I've gotten on the phone with men and women, and they'll say, "Oh, my husband, oh, my wife, oh, my partner, whatever. I'm going to make the decision with them after consulting with them." You might reschedule in that case too. Because even if it's not a business partner, you want to include all the decision makers on the call. So it's the best use of your time as well as their time. You do not, and you might notice this kind of from what I've been saying so far, you want to be using your time as productively as possible. You do not want to be risking your time. And by valuing it too, your clients are going to value it more too. And that's actually going to help your close rate as well.
And the last one is use storytelling.
We're kind of in a race against my laptop battery here. I see Alex smiling. He's like, "Oh, when am I going to jump in?" So storytelling. So Alex, I know that this is one that you and I were talking about before we hit record.
And he wrote an article about it.
Right.
In the past,
right.
yeah, that was really good.
So maybe I don't know if while I'm talking, if you give any research that you've done from that article, but storytelling is considered, it's just something that comes to people who actively practice it. People who are master persuaders, who are trained hypnotists, who are masters at copywriting, all use the tactic of storytelling, very similar to price anchoring, because it works. It's the idea of, because storytelling is something that is timeless, between people. It's how we kept history for thousands of years, I guess, before we developed writing, and even then, we're always telling stories to each other today, because it's interesting. It's a form of kind of micro entertainment just through conversation. So, what is an example of this actually on a call with a client, and how does it actually help you to facilitate a sale? Well, when you write a story, one thing I've learned, as a kind of up and coming fiction writer, is that it starts with you. In other words, the reader becomes the main character of the story. So whatever story you're telling, you're kind of transporting the listener instantly into that position of, the hero, whoever it might be, even if the story is about you or if it's about someone else. So you kind of transport the person, and it also uses kind of a lot of visual imagery in the mind too, because you're transporting them into a certain context or scenario through the act of storytelling. But it helps to establish in a more pragmatic way credibility and authority if, for example, you're using it to answer a question by calling upon, the story of a case study from another successful client who invested in your high ticket service. Or you're telling a story of, another customer who bought your high ticket product and used it successfully to solve his or her problem. So, and what's really important there is that the kind of hero of the story, it's usually, okay, you have a hero and that hero wants one thing, right? But there's an obstacle that he or she needs to get over in order to successfully achieve the objective, okay? And then the objective, obviously, and kind of the key tool for getting over the obstacle in a sales context would be, your product or service. And you want to be honest and transparent about that. But you also want to have contrast. That's also a very powerful persuasion and sales technique. But use it in the context of storytelling, you have a clear before, problem, has the need, really desires for change, and then solution, the after, what is life and business like after.
Okay.
Any thoughts to add to that, Alex?
Um, I think it's also great that when you tell a story, it becomes more interesting. Not only because you are being transported, somewhere, but it's always more interesting to learn about what someone went through at a specific time, or I think it builds some empathy. So I think that's
Mm.
really interesting. It creates a connection with a person, if you don't like pitch the sell right away.
Yeah.
It builds something. So yeah.
Yeah. And it's kind of like it could be like social proof too, because people, you can say how awesome you are all day, but what matters and what potential clients and customers of your high ticket products and services care about is, well, what do your customers or clients say about you? So
Yeah. There's actually one research in the article that says that uh, a website posted an article without a story, and the same post was added with the story, and there was like 300% conversion, for the one who had the story, you know. So
yeah.
it was really interesting. Like, people will see it in the article.
Well, speaking of 300%, my battery is at 3%, so let's wrap up. So thank you both for collaborating with me on this resource. And for those of you watching, there are actually 6 other just proven pro tactics and techniques and strategies that are really as powerful as the ones that we just went over. So I encourage you, if you're watching this on YouTube and you enjoyed this video, click the like button, but also click over to the article and you can download a copy of it as a PDF or just read through the entire resource right there. So to conclude, if you're interested in actually delegating all of your digital marketing tasks to help you focus on driving more better quality leads using some of the exact tactics and strategies that we just explained here, then go to autogrow.co, because with Autogrow, we're like your digital marketing partner on demand. You can delegate all of your digital marketing tasks. You sign up, okay? It's super affordable, and you just kind of get work done by typing, and we have lots of project templates that you can choose from, everything from an entire sales funnel built from scratch to something more specific, like, hey, you just want a lead magnet, an ad campaign, whatever it is, we can do it for you. And we can also help you to actually think through strategically some of the challenges that come up with actually building a successful online sales funnel and digital marketing presence. They're going to help you grow your business. All right. And if you're more of a do-it-yourself type of person, you can check out all of our products, like AutoGrow's proven sales conversion pack, kind of like a database of just proven different sales funnel and conversion strategies. It's called the Proven Sales Conversion Pack. It's like Google. You can type in and check off for different industries to find case studies, over 300 case studies. It's a database of over 300 case studies that are going to inspire you to make changes that just like kind of like the first one, the on-demand video that we talked about here. All right, so go ahead, check that out. It's autogrow.co/products if you're more the do-it-yourself type. All right, so until next time, thank you, Alex, and thank you, Mariana, and thank you all for watching. Keep converting and stay focused.